A startling new report is shedding light on sex trafficking right here in our own backyard and highlighting the risk factors that make young girls the victims of online predators. Tonight, advocates say the numbers aren't going down. In fact, this is a rising problem in our country. This report coming on the same day many across Canada are remembering the victims of gender-based violence.
This, in fact, is a domestic issue. It's not something that's happening across an ocean. It's happening in our own backyards.
One day after the OPP revealed over 500 charges related to child exploitation were laid last month alone, Covenant House has released the results of their latest survey, stating sex trafficking is a major problem here in Canada. The organization that serves at-risk, homeless, and trafficked youth states that girls as young as 13 years old are unsuspectingly being lured online into, quote, the highly lucrative world of sex trafficking across the country.
The issue of sex trafficking has not gone away, and in fact it's increased with public awareness that more young ladies are identifying that they're being trafficked and seeking help.
The Ipsos survey interviewed 500 girls aged 12 to 16 in April and found that 3 in 10 girls weren't familiar with the term sex trafficking. Breaking down by age, that also includes 49% of 12-year-olds. 59% of teenage girls also reported having a friend who has done, quote, unsafe things online. A major finding of this report states that parents have a vital role to play in their child's online safety. Covenant House says parents should be aware of their child's social media and have conversations around what sex trafficking means and how it can happen.
When we talked to survivors as part of this study, they indicated that if they had had conversations at home at an early age prior to their becoming exploited, that they would have felt more comfortable and confident in having conversations in the family home without being fearful of being blamed or shamed about the issue itself, and then potentially have never become trafficked to begin with.
I'm a parent, and it's very alarming because unfortunately the kids don't know who's at the other end. They're thinking it's somebody the same age as them.
Yasmin Mirza was one of dozens at a vigil this evening, marking one of the darkest days in Canada's history. The 29th anniversary of the Montreal massacre, where 14 women were murdered for their gender at l'École Polytechnique in 1989.
Her memory will continue to live on through her 2 grown daughters.
It was a solemn scene inside Philosopher's Walk at the University of Toronto. Attendees, including victims and survivors, held candles and roses. And nearby, the names of women said to be murdered victims of gender-based violence this year in Ontario were displayed on the lawn and read out loud one by one.
Holly Hamilton, 29.
The organizers, Women Won't Forget, say they have twice the number of victims this year than they had last year.
It's still a huge problem, and I don't see it getting any better. I see it getting worse because we refuse to, as a society, to deal with the root problems. Indigenous women, look at over 2,000 missing and murdered Indigenous women. What are we doing about these issues? You know, we have to take action.
There has to be strict penalties for people that are committing this crime, so they can understand that when we say this needs to stop, it needs to stop. If there is no stiffer penalties, nothing is going to happen.
And tonight, the organizers, Women Won't Forget, said they read the names of 60 women said to be victims of gender-based violence. In previous years, they said they read 30 names.